Good evening, room 207. How are we doing? Good. It's good to be with you. I'm going to read you your nightly read aloud, and I'm here with Rossi. And today we are on chapter 37. And this chapter starts where it was left off from the pet chapter when they were in the pet store and Crenshaw stole the cookie. All right, here we go. And for tonight, we're going to do some visualizing. And when you visualize, you make those pictures in your mind as you read to better help you understand what's happening in the text and to better connect to the text. Okay, here we go. When we got home from the pet store, I went to my room, half expecting to see Crenshaw lounging on my bed. Instead, I found Aretha. Her nose was buried in my keepsake bag, and she had a guilty expression on her face. So here's a good time to visualize a little dog with her nose in a brown paper bag and then pulling it out and looking like she did something guilty, like she's got something in her mouth or something. She for sure had something in her mouth, but I couldn't see what it was. Show me, I said. I pulled the stolen dog cookie from my pocket. It was a little mushed on one side. I held it out so Aretha could drop whatever was in her mouth and snatch the cookie, but she wasn't interested. Probably she didn't want to eat stolen goods. Aretha slunk toward my bedroom door, tail dragging, and I saw what she was holding. It was the clay statue I'd made of Crenshaw clutched between her teeth. You don't want that old thing, I said, but she seemed to disagree. As soon as she was out of my bedroom, she galloped down the hall and scratched urgently at the front door. So visualize a dog galloping. Kind of like a horse, he's making a connection to another animal that gallops. Want me to open it, baby? Robin asked. She turned the knob and Aretha rocketed outside. So, vroom. Aretha, stop, I yelled. Usually she waited by the door for me, flopping her tail hopefully. Not today. I grabbed her leash. She was heading straight for Marisol's house, which was about half a block down the street. Aretha loved Marisol. So she also loved Marisol's 7 cats, who enjoyed sunbathing on the screened-in back porch. I found Aretha in Marisol's old sandbox. Marisol didn't use it anymore, but Aretha loved it. She was already digging a hole. Sand fanned skyward like sprinkler spray. Think about that. Visualize the sand going up like a sprinkler does with water. Aretha was an expert digger. She buried 2 water bowls, a TV remote control, a pizza box, a Ziploc bag of Legos, 3 Frisbees, and 2 of my homework folders there. Not that my teachers had believed me. Marisol was wearing flip-flops and her pajamas, which had snoring sheep on them. She loved pajamas. In 1st grade, she wore them to school every day until the principal told her she was setting a bad example. In her left hand, Marisol had a large saw. Her hair was covered with sawdust. She almost always smelled like freshly cut wood. Marisol loved to build things, especially things for animals and birds and reptiles. She made birdhouses and bat shelters, dog carriers and cat trees, hamster habitats and ferret houses. At the end of her fenced yard were planks, a sawhorse, and a big circular saw. A small house-looking thing was on the ground, half-built. It was for one of her cats. Hey, I said. Hey, she said, you ready for the yard sale? I guess. Aretha brought me that, Marisol said. She pointed to my Crenshaw statue, which was sitting on the picnic table, dropped it right at my feet. I made it when I was little, I said with a shrug. It's lame. If you made it, it's not lame, Marisol said. She put down her saw and examined the statue. Aretha stopped digging and looked up at us hopefully. Her face was covered in sand, her tongue lolled sideways. It's a cat, Marisol said, brushing off a piece of grass stuck to the bottom. A standing cat with a baseball cap. I like it. I like it very much. I shrugged, hands in my pockets. Was this for the yard sale, Marisol asked. How much is it? It's not for sale. Aretha got it out of my bag of stuff. That my stuff is all. I have $3. For that? I laughed. It's just, a hunk of clay, some school project. I like it. It's intriguing. Marisol reached into her pajama pocket. She handed me a wad of money that looked like it had been through the laundry. So I get a good visual of that too, all crumpled up bills, kind of a little soggy. Keep it, I said. Think of it as a going away present. Her eyes went wide. What are you talking about, Jackson? You're not. I waved a hand. No, it's probably nothing. My parents are just being their usual weird selves. It wasn't the truth, not completely, but it wasn't not the truth. You'd better not move. I'd miss you so much. Who would help me with the C-spot walk? And anyway, I love your weird parents. I didn't respond. You told me that. I may have to reconsider our friendship. You never told me that. Excuse me, I made a mistake. You never told me that. I may have to reconsider our friendship based on what she said about the parents. Because of whoops or the Brussels sprouts? She yanked a nail out of a plank with her hammer. Hey, new bath fact. In Austin, Texas, they have the world's largest urban bat colony. Like 1.5 million of them. When they fly out at night, you can see them on the airport radar screens. Very cool, I said. Miss Malone would love seeing that. Marisol and I both had Miss Malone for 4th grade. She taught all subjects, but she loved science the best, biology especially. We chatted about bats while we watched Aretha dig another hole. Finally, I said, well, gotta go. I hooked Aretha to her leash. She licked my cheek with a sand-covered tongue. It felt like a cat's. Did Whoops ever, I made myself ask the question, did she ever come back after you outgrew her? Who's Whoops then? Marisol didn't answer right away. Sometimes she just let a question sit for a while, like she needed some time to get acquainted with it. I wish she would come back, Marisol said, gazing at me. I think you'd like her. I nodded. Yeah, I guess I could overlook the Brussels sprouts thing. Jackson? Yep. You're not really moving, are you? I studied her question the way she studied mine. Probably not, I said, because it was easy, and easy was all I could manage. Aretha and I were almost to the front yard when Marisol called, It needs a name. You mean the statue? Yeah, something unique. What do you want its name to be? I asked. She didn't answer right away. She took her time. Finally, she said, Crenshaw would be a good name for a cat, I think. Is that just a coincidence? Okay, and tomorrow I'm going to read chapter 38. And chapter 38, I think, is just this page. So I'll read chapter 38 and 39 tomorrow. So you have a good rest of your night, rest of your day whenever you listen to this. And remember to always visualize as you're reading. Make those pictures in your mind. And asking questions is good as well. They work together very well, kind of like how I was doing that when I was reading those pages. Visualizing is when you make those pictures in your mind as you read, and you kind of build the setting up and the characters, and you get to see what is going on in your mind as you read the words. All right, well, have a good rest of your night, and I will see you tomorrow.